Starts and sits for Fantasy Week 5 with key injury updates right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Adam Aizer and Heath Cummings here. Good morning, everybody. Let's get your lineup set on this Sunday. We got a London game coming up in less than 90 minutes. Zay Jones is active for that one. We'll talk about that in a bit. Saquon Barkley, Heath, not expected to play. How do you feel about Matt Breida at the Dolphins?
He is a flex, a fine flex. I like the guy that's kind of the benchmark at running back this week is going to be Jonathan Taylor because I don't quite have him as a starter. I would start Taylor over Breida. I would start Najee over Breida. I would start Dameon Pierce over Breida. But if you don't have one of those guys, if you don't have a decent starter, he's fine.
Okay, so go right into Jonathan Taylor. The report, which is not a surprise, is that he's expected to be monitored today. But he got his contract extension. Things are peachy keen, I guess, in Indianapolis. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, put him in the Sports Business Hall of Fame. They said that running backs were not going to get money, and he played that one perfectly. I think he is a high-end number 3-ish type running back, RB 25, 26, 27, 28, somewhere in that range. I have moved both of the Broncos behind him this morning with the questions about Javonte. I think it's a tough call between him and Breida, but I would prefer Jonathan Taylor. But I'd still start Miles Sanders, Ramondre, Madison, those guys over him. There's some risk there, and it's the worst matchup in fantasy.
Yeah, the Tennessee Titans, and another team that's a tough matchup for running backs is the Lions. We don't have too many questions right now. I mean, you did say start Miles Sanders over him.
I did, and I don't love Miles Sanders, but yes.
Okay. Well, let's look at the other side of that game here. The Lions will be shorthanded, it seems. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs not expected to play. So what does this mean for the Detroit Lions? A lot of moving pieces here.
Yeah, David Montgomery might be RB1.
Yeah.
Like, not an RB1, the RB1. I'd expect 25 plus touches. I actually have him ranked 7th, but he's a must start. That's the Laporta, same type of situation. Like, he's a top 5 tight end, but he might lead all tight ends in targets today. I think this is not enough to make me confident in Jameson Williams, and it's not enough for me to push Josh Reynolds up into the must start category. I like Reynolds as a number 3 wide receiver. Jameson Williams is still a wait and see. It hurts Goff, but he's still a low end starter.
Okay. Would you start Goff or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson.
All right. Speaking of Russell Wilson, he may not have Javonte Williams. What do we do with Javonte Williams? What do we do with Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams? None of these guys play in the 1 o'clock slate. In fact, Jones and Adams are Monday night guys. So what do you think about them?
Yeah, I mean, I think Adams I'm more optimistic about him. He got a partial practice in on Saturday, which was better than Friday when he didn't practice at all. I would like to be able to maybe go get a Hunter Renfrow or a Jaden Reed to wait that one out, but I'm planning on waiting it out. Jones is more difficult because he's kind of gone up and down with his hamstring injury. It is a fantastic matchup, so it's really, really hard to sit him.
Yeah.
But we're not probably going to know for sure that he is playing. I think like one of the other guys who's really interesting this week, the start of the week, Breece Hall, and how much work does he get? I'd start him over Aaron Jones. But I'm not going to go all the way down to the starting Miles Sanders or Jonathan Taylor over Jones just because there's so much upside for Aaron Jones. I think Javonte, it's not just like we went through most of the week not expecting Javonte to start. So we had Jaleel McLaughlin ranked as a number 2 running back and P. Ryan as a high-end flex. I have moved both those guys behind Jonathan Taylor because if Javonte shows up, we have no reason to have any confidence in who's going to touch the ball for them at all.
Right. Exactly. It might just be a situation to avoid. And Cooper Kupp, who's your highest ranked Rams receiver this week, and where do you have him?
It's definitely Cooper Kupp, but I think I'm the high guy on Puka Nacua. I've got them both as top 20 wide receivers, Kupp as a top 12 guy in full PBR. There's supposed to be no restrictions for him. I bet they get him at least 1 touchdown as a welcome back.
Right?
I'm starting both Rams wide receivers, and I think we'll find out. I understand if you want to hold Tutu. I would guess by tonight's show, we're saying that Tutu Atwell is droppable.
Yeah, Zay Jones active today for the London game. What is that? Does that change anything for Kirk or Ridley or even Lawrence?
It definitely causes me to drop Kirk and Ridley. I'm not like the guy I have one spot ahead of Lawrence right now is Jared Goff, and I'd still rather start him than Trevor Lawrence. Kirk is no longer a top 20 wide receiver. Neither is Ridley. It's going to be really interesting to see who's playing in those 2 wide receiver sets between Kirk and Zay Jones. You might have like 1 hour left to trade Christian Kirk based on what's happened the last couple of weeks. But yeah, they're both low end number 2 wide receivers. I would start Michael Pittman over both of the Jags.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go to week 2, Zay Jones did play a decent chunk of that game, and I don't know that Kirk was super affected by it. I have to look further into that, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be more revealed this week. I guess I'm not sure that what happened in week 1 is going to happen again. But
no, not at all. I didn't mean to say that I was. That's why I still have Kupp ranked to the top 24 wide receiver.
Okay. And by the way, when Heath said he's dropping Ridley and Kirk, he of course meant in his rankings, not from his fantasy rosters. Let's go 30 seconds for questions here. Olave or Pittman?
Olave.
Zay Jones or Sutton?
Sutton.
Mixon or Achane, half PPR?
Achane.
Let's see. ETN, Kyron Williams, or Calvin Ridley?
ETN.
Miles Sanders or Jaylen Warren?
Warren.
And last one here, Warren or McLaughlin?
Warren.
All right, that's it for FFT in 5. Good luck, everybody. We'll talk to you at 11:30 a.m. for our live stream, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. You can also catch Fantasy Football Today at 9 a.m. Eastern on CBS Sports HQ. See ya.